8:46, our back-to-school supply drive rolls on. If you want to learn ways you can help, don't forget that QR code is right there at the bottom of the screen.
Let us bring in NBC's Jacob Soboroff, who's at Small Middle School in Austin, Texas, with a teacher, Mr. T, who's going all out to support his school and his students. Hey, Jake, good morning.
Morning, Hoda. He is an absolute legend, and this is Mr. T in a nutshell. This is a sketchbook. It looks like something you might pick up at the local store, but the reality is it is not just a creative way for kids to make their own in Mr. T's class, but it's a way when teachers are struggling all across the country to save money as teachers are thinking outside the box all over this nation.
Most of the stuff is old, but we make it work.
This is Mr. Fred Tabares' supply room.
The stick of glue looks like it's almost out.
Yep.
He's been an art teacher here for 15 years. The kids call him Mr. T. With 12 classes and nearly 400 students a year, Mr. T has to work with what he's got. Something his colleagues understand, too. Austin, Texas is one of the least affordable cities in the country. Nearly a third of all students at Small Middle School are economically disadvantaged.
How much are you spending out of pocket on your students?
It wouldn't be strange for me to run to the local big box store and like buy off the shelves.
Out of your own pocket?
Out of my own pocket.
And so at the end of the year, you're spending at least several $100s.
At least. But what do? I want my students to be able to go home and say, I made this.
Why don't you ask the parents to sort of pony up that money?
Before the pandemic, it wouldn't be out of the question for us to ask for $5.
But the pandemic changed things.
We didn't want to assume that a student was living at home with two parents that had a job apiece.
To help afford the extra supplies, Mr. T works part-time as a restaurant dishwasher. And he's not the only one at the school with a second job.
It helps me be financially secure that I don't have to worry about if I need to buy a box of permanent markers in a pinch. There have been times where I've taken kids to art contests and I want to buy them breakfast because some of those kids might not have access to those things.
But it's not just money Mr. T puts into his students, it's the time too. Like that time he fed a goat vegetables with his mouth to fundraise for the entire school.
Click on the link below and support Small Middle School.
You're a football coach. You're a DJ at dances. You're basically school spirit personified. How did you become that?
I think when you're a teacher, you try to step up in roles that need to be filled. Instead of paying $400 for a DJ, I could give up 3 or 4 hours of my night and do that.
It's not uncommon to see Mr. T on campus well after school hours. And while some teachers across the country are facing burnout or even opting out, Mr. T says this is his passion, and he does it for the love of his students.
These are your kids, and these are our kids too. This is that village that everyone talks about, that it takes to raise your kid.
So, you guys, let me just talk to Mr. T for a second. Mr. T, you are a legend, and we are so inspired by you, and you work so hard here, and I can see it in your eyes. You have 3 classes today alone, starting at 8:15. You're going to be teaching these kids. I know what drives you. In part, it's your girlfriend, Danielle, who's also a teacher. And you talked to me about her and about how she pushes you and how you push each other. What's the message you have for her and for teachers all across the country this morning who are watching you, who are also struggling in similar times?
Well, if they're in the classroom right now, they already know what I would tell them is keep going. And we do. It's one of those things that it's built into us. And if we don't pick it up on our first day on the profession, it's one of those that we pick up from our peers. So keep going. We're doing great, and we're going to get better.
Listen to this, man. And listen, there's no way to say thank you. Thank you. There's no chance it's enough, but come with me. I want to show you something, Mr. T. I know it's early here. I know school hasn't started. Oh, wait a minute. What are you guys doing here, Mr. T? Keep coming. This is just the beginning. How you guys doing? Wait a minute. It sounds like, is that the sound of the band playing, Mr. T?
I think that is the sound of the band.
I haven't been to a middle school in a while, but it sure does sound like the band. Look at these guys right here. What's up, you guys? Mr. T, they're here all for you. And that's not even it. We're not even done yet. Come on, guys. Look at these guys, Mr. T. The goats. Which one is the one you said? This one? This is the one you said. This isn't even it, Mr. T. Guys, open those up. This is for you, man. Take a look at this. These are our friends from PepsiCo and the foundation. They were so excited by you, so inspired by you. Listen up, everybody. They heard about the long list of jobs that Mr. T has, whether it's the dishwasher, the goat feeder with his own mouth, dressing up for fundraisers, getting in the dunk tank, all of that stuff. They want to help you continue your mission specifically by giving $10,000 worth of school supplies to here at Small Middle School. Because of you, Mr. T. Give it up for Mr. T. Thank you. It is not often that you meet a man like you that inspires so many people. Take a look at some of this stuff. We got glue sticks, we got markers, all the stuff you and I talked about inside that supply room. And we know kids get hungry, they like snacks from time to time. Anything you want to say to all the people across the country that are watching you right now?
Thank y'all. Thank you. For my fellow colleagues across the country, keep doing what we're doing. They need us here, and we'll keep plugging away.
We're proud of you, man. You guys, this is a true hero. Send it back to you.
Mr. T.
President.
Jacob, tell Mr. T how much we love him, please.
That was awesome. That was great.
We're actually going to check in with Jacob and Mr. T coming up on the third hour.
Because I can watch Mr. T all day. I'm like here for it. I like the sign, Mr. T for president.
That's the first thing that get cut in school.
Yeah.
So it's
Art, yeah. He is the GOAT, literally and figuratively. All right, so remember, it's easy. If you'd like to support teachers just like Mr. T, you can scan the QR code or head to today.com. So please do that. We encourage you to do so. Thank you to Jacob. We're back in a moment, but first, this is Today on NBC.
This is great.